Good morning, everyone. So we'll
Good
give it a
morning.
few more seconds. We have a lot of folks joining us today for this webinar, and then we'll begin here momentarily. Jesse, Julie, are you staying warm today?
We are. It was a bit chilly earlier this week. We had some snow for those of you in the Asheville area, which I know I loved, but it's warmer today. The sun is shining. So hopefully
Yeah,
you're all keeping warm.
I was surprised to see that snow. So it was for those who don't live in the Asheville area, it was very light dusting, but it was very pretty to see. I think it's been a few years since we've had
Mhm.
any reportable snow or anything like that. So it was exciting.
It was big flurries as
Very
well.
pretty.
Very comforting.
And we'll just give it a few more seconds. All right, I think we'll go ahead and begin. Good morning, everyone. My name is Josue Molina, and I'm the Director of Sales and Marketing for Independent Living at Givens Communities. We're thrilled to have you join us today for this important discussion about aging in place. Our goal today is to give you more information about what aging in place looks like within our communities and beyond our communities. This is our first webinar since Helene, and I'm happy to report that Givens residents and team members continue to be safe. We've been very fortunate at our campuses, and now that drinking water has returned to our communities, we have some sense of normalcy. However, we know that there are a lot of people in the community that have been impacted in numerous ways, and our hearts and support are with the region during this challenging event. So for those in the area, we hope you are safe and well. And then those outside the area, just knowing that all this has happened, it has been a big impact, but we know that the area is going to be back stronger. Our speakers today were monumental in making sure that residents got attention and support that they needed during the storm. Their team members wore a lot of different hats and supported our residents throughout the event, really illustrating the benefits of our communities. So I'm excited to have them share more about what they do to you all today so you can get a little more understanding of what Home First and home care services are, along with aging in place services at Givens. Before we begin, I do want to go over a few housekeeping items. The webinar will be recorded, so if you have another appointment or anything else comes up, it's okay. We'll be sending you the recording. There's a Q&A feature at the top of your screen. Use that to ask questions, and we'll be addressing the questions at the end of the presentation. And we will be working our way to almost all the questions. If your question does not get answered, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. So I'd like to introduce our speakers. First, we have Jesse Bosshard, the Executive Director of Givens Home First. Jesse has been leading our efforts to enhance the quality of life for older adults in our community. And Julie Moses, the Aging in Place Program Director at Givens Home First. Julie has been instrumental in developing and expanding our services to support aging in place within our communities, and will be speaking in great detail about this. So I'd like to have Jesse begin.
Yes, well, thank you, Josue, for the warm welcome, and hello, everyone. I am so glad you're here with us today. Many of us have a goal to age safely and gracefully. So we are excited to share tips and insights to help you, help all of us in that endeavor. As Josue mentioned, Givens Home First is a relatively new program, but with a very rich history. And our mission is simple. We are focused on empowering our clients to feel healthy, happy, and safe at home while still staying connected to their community. Right now, there are two programs that fall underneath that Givens Home First umbrella. The first is our licensed home care agency, and that is available to residents living at Givens Estate and Givens Highland Farms. I have been so amazed by this growing team Just this year, our caregivers have supported more than 250 residents across all levels of care in our 2 Life Plan communities. And this program will be available to you as soon as you move into one of our 2 Life Plan communities. But our newest program, our Aging in Place program, is led by Julie, and it's what we're here to really shine light on today. So since 2002, Julie has brought so much creativity and expertise to Givens, and she brings with her over 20 years of experience in occupational therapy and aging in place design. This year alone, it's the time of reflection. So we've just looked at our numbers, and this year alone, she has inspired more than 230 home modifications. And what's really exciting is that we have now opened up her Aging in Place program to the wider community. So whether you are a Givens resident, one day will become a Givens resident, you're a Givens Choice member, or you live within a 45-minute drive time from our home office based at Givens Estates, this program is here to help you live safely and gracefully in the home you love, but while also understanding that your home may change and you may change. So I'm constantly inspired by Julie's passion, her creativity, and hope you will be too. So with that, I would like to pass the baton over to Julie. She's actually sitting right across from me, so we can bounce off of each other. Webinars can be a little tricky. So thank you all for joining us. And with that, over to you, Julie.
Thank you, Josue and Jesse. Thank you very much. And thanks to all of you who are joining us on this sunny day in Asheville. And thank you again for taking the time to do this. Again, I'm Julie Moses. I've been at Givens a couple of decades now. Hard to believe. Background in occupational therapy. Started out as an in-house therapist at the healthcare center. Learned a lot. Had lots of experiences to really understand disease process and rehabbing and what that means. And then as things change, and as Givens, if you know the history of Givens, it's ever changing, which is one of the things that I love about it. In 2010, 14 years ago, we opened up a wing at the healthcare center that became the rehab unit. So with that, we then changed because we just used to operate, if you lived at Givens, that was who we served. And now that we have grown and grown and grown. So now with our community, as part of our community outreach and our master planning, in 2010, we started taking people from the outside of Givens walls to create a better way to serve the community. So with that, I got to start doing home modifications. I would take, let's take a hip fracture, if you fell and broke your hip, I would then we would rehab. And then that's even gotten shorter for those of you, rehab hip used to be, you were at Givens for 6-8 weeks, maybe. Now it's not that case. So with Medicare changes and things like that, we've had to change that pace. So now I'm doing home modifications. I'm going into the homes and I'm saying, okay, what does it take to keep you home? And I realized this was becoming what people wanted. I started hearing what the patients were saying, what the residents were saying. And I'm like, this is going to be a thing. So I started diving in and really leaning into and just passionately learning about what it means to be in your home and what I could do. So then about 8 years ago, I learned about the CAPS program you'll see up here that says, sorry, let me see my screen. There we go. Certified Aging in Place Specialist. And that is through the National Home Builders. And with that, I would put in work orders. I would make a recommendation here on campus for modification, and our maintenance team would carry it out. Well, there was a maintenance technician who grew interested in that and called me and asked me, why are you specifically saying and so exact with your work order? Why are you saying this? Like, I'll do it, but help me with the why. So with that, he grew, his name's David Hawk, and he became certified aging in place as well, and is actually in the works of becoming a general contractor, which is wonderful growth for him. So his passion has led him even into more personal growth. So throughout this presentation, you're going to see lots of plants and furniture and lighting, things that I love that make my home quirky and unique to me. All of our homes are. And even at my home, we make my son, who's 15, who makes fun of me for having a cactus corner to the right of where he sits, that I call it your nest. Kind of everybody, when I come into someone's home, I kind of see, show me where you spend most of your time. And we kind of call that your nest. And everybody, you can usually tell someone's nest. Where are you comfortable? And that's where he chose. That's where he plopped. And we call it Cactus Corner. And he gives me a very hard time. And when we're in stores, he just gets me by the shoulder and leads me away from buying more plants, which is hard for me to do. So I have them in my office instead. So little does he know. But you too can have a safe cactus corner if you would like. So we're going to get started. Home. Home is where you choose to live. It's comfortable. It's going to be familiar to you. It's where you're living now. You're choosing to be a part of this community. But I want you to think for just a moment. Think about your childhood home or your home where you are. What does it mean to you? What do you want it to have? Your planners, you're on this wait list. I'm speaking to the wait list for our Givens communities. What are you gonna bring with you? What's that feeling? Not just your tangible things, but what is that feeling that you want to bring with you? That's what I lean into as well. Over the years, I have asked people that, and it's, safe or happy, cozy. Think about that for a minute. What is that word? For me, it's comfort. I want to be comfortable in my home. So you're on the wait list. You've chosen to make a plan to be a part of this community where you're going to come into and you're going to have a team of people. So there's many services that you're going to have accessible to you. We're going to lean into what season we're in. It's fall. So, and one of the many services you're going to have is maintenance and grounds. So we just did 2 weekends ago, and we need to do it again now with the storm we just had. But we just had leaves and gutter project at my house. So that's something you're stepping away from. You're choosing to be like, yeah, I don't really have to do that anymore. There's going to be people do that for you. That's one of the many services that you're going to have here. I want you to realize that I too am a part of that service. And that's what we're going to talk about. So you're going to have access to all these services. I want you to be as intentional as you're thinking of stepping away from those, no more cleaning the gutters. I want you to think about, what is your home going to be like? What's your home safety going to be like? Be as intentional with that plan as well. And that's where I come into play. I think you're starting to understand the point of this is home safety. And that's what I do. And we all love our homes. Sometimes when I first meet people, that's the first conversation I have with them is what the process of downsizing was like, why they chose to bring what they did. And that's meaningful to you. Why, this couch that you reupholstered 3 times. I get that. What the books, why did you bring in people like, I just can't part with my books. I get that. So how do we make that plan that you just are a part of, that you just created, and let's add some home safety to it. So people are like, what do you do, Julie? Tell me about what you do. This is something that I can tell people out in the community that kind of wraps up what I do when I'm talking to friends or loved ones about what I do. This is one of my favorite quotes. A goal without a plan is just a wish. I believe many of us want to remain independent in our home, but without a plan, that can become a wish. So what does that mean? That plan that you're thinking of coming here, you're on the wait list, you may be on many wait lists, but that plan, if you come in here, how can I be a part of it? Is prevention or adaptation? One thing that I'll talk about what I have heard, and then we'll talk about what I haven't heard. Through my years here, no one's ever come up to me and said, I really wish I hadn't put that grab bar in. I didn't need to tape down my rugs. I am very upset about adding this extra lighting. That's what I don't hear. What I do hear is, I use that grab bar more than I thought I would. I'm glad you and my son had that conversation about taping my rugs down. I know I was resistant, but I want you to know I think about you every time I walk down that hallway, and it makes me raise my foot up a little bit higher, because that could have been a trip. It could have by taping that rug down could have prevented a fall. Do I come in and take up rugs right away? Absolutely not. We work together and we come up with a plan to fit you. This is your home. I'm an intentional planner with you while we're in your home. I too can be a part of that plan for success. So how does all this come together? What does it mean? As Jesse mentioned, I'm available before and after you come to Givens. 45-minute drive time for now. That will always change, just as this program has changed. Just in a year's time, it's going to change more and grow. So we want you, how does it help me before I get there? We want you to get here as your best self. We want you to come and enjoy all those services that we have. The pottery studio is one of my favorite ones. The library is right across from me. The billiards room where we hear laughter and so much, it's just a good time in there. So let's talk about the pottery studio. So let's say that you are living, here's the main campus, and then you live in one of the houses off to the side. We want you to get here, but how do you remain safe to be able to get here? There's going to be many steps to make that happen. So aging in place is kind of the buzzword. Everybody's talking about it. It's kind of this new thing. How do we modify? So talking about you getting here as your best self, we want you to get here and remain as independently as possible. We don't want you to, I sit in meetings and we talk about the new people moving in. And sometimes if you've waited too long, waited too late, it's a different conversation rather than that independent home, not on still at Givens or you're in assisted living. So sometimes it can change the longer you wait. I too can be a part of the plan even as you wait to help you get here to maximize that potential that you have. So, you know, I've gotten creative over the years. I promise you, there's probably not much that I haven't handled or heard of or had experience with, from sleepwalkers. Just recently helped a lady who was sleepwalking. If you want to hear more about that, she's very open with her story and how we've helped her remain safe. I really had to get creative on that one. Once there was a gentleman who absolutely did not want to reach for a grab bar beside his toilet. And his partner was like, he really needs the help to stand up. So what we did was, with the help of Givens and all the departments, these services you're going to have help with, we adapted a golf putter and attached it to the side of his wall. Had to be built up that he pulled up on a golf putter, not a grab bar. So things like that. We'll get creative. We do it. I love things like that. There was a lady with an aging cat. And so then it was about her and her cat. She needed the kitty box to be up higher. The cat could no longer do that. So it was adapting, and where do we meet? With an additional grab bar, more lighting, we were able to accommodate everyone's needs, even your pets. All right, let's talk about types of modifications. So I come into your home. I respect your space. We look around, I see what makes you, what makes you happy, the things you brought, what's important to you. And as we age and we change, we all do. We're all in this together. We're all aging and changing together. Even now, I'm supposed to wear glasses, but I can't see these words in front of me, my notes with my current glasses on. So think that we're changing, and that's okay. So that team, just like I talked about the pottery studio. So maybe the only thing you need, once you get in here, you can operate just fine. But it's this, Julie, I can't get in my car anymore. And that home first team that's here, they can help you with that transition. Maybe you just need help getting in the car. And then once you get here, you can use if you're on a newly assisted device, power chair, whatever it is, that's what we can do. So there's something called, I'm on the wrong slide. That's okay. Whoops. My fault. So what I want you to think about is that word that you were thinking about. When you get here, we want to keep you at that level. So whatever it is, for me, your word's always going to be safe and happy. I want you safe and happy in your home. So a basic modification could be just like furniture layout. You're now, let's say you're having a surgery, you are going to be having to use a walker temporarily. Julie, how do I make this more safe? Just having different eyes that's been doing it for a while, I could see something that you don't see. So having me come in and do that is helpful. Taping rugs down, not necessarily jerking them up yet. We don't always do that. Sometimes we have to, but not initially. We try to adapt where you are. So a more advanced accommodation could be, let's talk about Parkinson's. It's a disease that has the process, and it changes over time. And I've helped people stay in their home independently or with a partner. And then when it comes to the partner, it's about them too, their safety. I look at the whole picture of how to meet all those needs. Maybe you're on a walker now. How do they get it in the car? I've even helped people learn that they needed a different car. I've gone with people to buy recliners, take them with them. Which one fits you better? It's not all one size fits all. It's everything's as unique as you are. And that's what I've learned over time, is how to meet those needs, and the items that I've learned about, I'm thankful for, because that's what I come in and we talk about. So it's getting ready to be Thanksgiving. As we approach for Thanksgiving, think about maybe not you, but are your guests comfortable? Are they able to navigate the home? Maybe you're renting an Airbnb. Is it accessible for everyone that's coming? So food prep. There's a device, thinking along the line of Parkinson's again, this jar opener really helps people open anything. It's just the press of a button. You lay it on top of a jar, push the button, and it does the rest of the work, and it comes right off. This is a newer gadget that I've learned about, and they've changed over time in these 2 decades. But then you say, changing a battery is pretty difficult, and it is. They've made it very difficult. The little tab you got to pull down and open the batteries. We take care of that too. So that's part of what you're coming to join. But again, we have to know. So it's about forming this relationship and getting to know. And some people ask me, what does it look like when you do come in? A lot of times on the phone, people are like, how long are you going to be here? It can be 30 minutes to 3 hours. It's whatever you feel like until we reach the goal of what you want, for what it can be safe for you. Josue touched on Hurricane Helene. Locally, we just went through something very challenging, and I decided, what am I going to learn from this? How am I going to make this a positive thing? I learned from on campus and off campus. I really listened to the stories, and what can I do to bring to this home safety assessment that I come in and do? How can I make it more beneficial? We talked about emergency preparedness. I come in and we touched on that, but now we're really going to talk about it. And I have more things to even bring to the table about that. So when the storm happened, the power went off and the power stayed off, right? So we're going around and we're doing, it was all hands on deck. We're going around and doing checks on everyone, and we find people in their recliner and there's nothing they can do. They don't have the trunk stability to get out of their chair. It's fully opened. There they are. There's nothing they can do. So I talked about battery backups before, but now I really give that example of we had to help people physically get out of their chairs. And then it was stuck until we could get things back open. But this is something that we've learned the right one for. Just this storm taught us the right one that works better. We've learned that. So I want you to think about, I'm going to stay with Parkinson's, and there's many other diseases that hinder hand function. But Parkinson's, we lose dexterity and strength in our hands. So think about fire safety and think of the steps, or when's the last time you thought of the steps of how to use a fire extinguisher? Sometimes, where is it? Where is it? What cabinet's it in? What pantry is it in? And then the steps you have to do to pull the pin, squeeze, it takes a lot. So one thing, and now the hurricane has highlighted that to be even more fear for people, because we've heard devastating stories about the fires that then happened. So there is a device called a fire blanket that I really encourage people to get. You see the little hook, it can hang, and it's got an opening in the bottom where you just pull it out, much like a tissue out of a box, and you just lay it over the fire. It's so much easier. It's these kinds of things. This is just a sample of the things we talk about of how to meet your needs when I'm in the home. This is just the tip of the iceberg of many, many things to keep your home safe. So it takes a community. And if if we haven't learned that, then we missed the lesson through this disaster that we just went through. And there are many meetings that I sit in on and many conversations of how do we keep that going? How do we continue that community feel? We had it before, now we really have it, and we are intentionally, Givens is intentionally, how do we keep this momentum going? Because what we did learn is that we work better together, and we did learn that staff really is here to support you. We just need to know. So we're working on how do we keep those relationships built to make it successful. So here you're going to hear us talking a lot about, we want to keep you at home. That's the new buzzword, right? That's the culture that we're integrating more and more and more. And that's how I came to be a part of this program. I've been doing it for a while at Givens. Kind of organically, it kind of started just out of my interest and me kind of realizing the trend of where healthcare was going years ago. And luckily they brought Jesse aboard and developed this program, Home First. And with that, you can have that caregiver in your home. And luckily here on our campus, we can have short visits of 30 minutes. You're getting ready to have eye surgery. You have a little dog, Buster. You need to take Buster out. You can't take Buster out. Build that relationship, get to know us, reach out, and we can come in. You want to come to the pottery studio and all you need is someone to come help you get in your car? Reach out. There's devices, simple devices. There's one called a car cane. This is one of many designs. We have our favorites. We've realized the ones that kind of work better. But it's also going to be which one is better for you. We also know that. So the good thing about here is I have two areas that I keep devices in, and we're able to let you use and borrow until we find what's right for you, because everything on these websites that we order don't always work. I'm sure I'll take a pair of pants. They all don't fit just because it's the right size. So that's the same with durable medical equipment as well, DME, you'll hear it referred to as, or even these little devices is getting in your car, which one's going to work better for you? Some have a light on them. Some even cut your seatbelt, a thing to break out the window. We go over all these things. No, you may never use them, but there might come a time where you need support getting in a car. It's really awkward to back up to your car and where do you sit? Or your loved one, your partner, your spouse, who needs help. This makes it much easier on everyone getting in a car. And I come in and I do the caregiver training as well. I work really closely with Home First because, again, it takes a community to make this happen. We're all here for you. This community is here to support you. So you can't let those little challenges that come up. There's a gentleman who reached out to me because I had a relationship with him. He reached out to me and told me, Julie, I'm having a hard time putting my shoes on now. And I said, how are you doing it? So we go in, talk to him, and he's using a corner. This is a corner, can't really tell, but this is a corner. He's using the wall to prop up in. He had moved furniture around and he was putting his leg up on the side of an arm of a chair to put on shoes. So as we change, things change. As we age, the things that become more difficult. He's simplified it with a black pair of shoes and a brown pair of shoes, which is totally fine. But what I got to come in, that's my OT background, come in and showed him how to put in. He didn't even know about elastic shoelaces. So brought him a pair of each, 2 pairs of each actually, and taught him how to tie, fit it to his foot. And now it's just a simple fix like that. Had we not had the relationship and had he not understand the services, he still would be struggling. And he couldn't believe it. I mean, he was just actually quite emotional about it because that one thing made it more difficult for him to his activities of daily life became challenged. So it's just that, again, meeting you where you are, as simple as that may sound. And technology is just on the cusp of what all we're doing. I wonder how many of you, I wish I could know, by raise of hand, how many of you are using a smart device? A simple thing as an Apple Watch. This great device. I have a story about my mom. So again, we were much as we could. And I was like, Mom, you got to wear this Apple Watch. And technology for her just overwhelmed her. It was too much. And that's okay. I come in and I custom this for several people of what do you want out of it? Here's what's available, because sometimes they don't know. and I come in, this is available, and how do I set it up to best help you? So even as simple as, hey, whomever it is, we're going to say Google, hey, Google, call campus security, or call Ginger, my nephew, Ginger, my niece, whomever it is. But my mom, we set up the fall device for her. And she was weeding one day and she just pulled too hard and she just fell right down, and this blinks off to three of her kids, and we're trying to call her and she sends out a text, I'm fine. But it was just the simple fact of it detected the fall. Had she not been okay, this too will allow her to be able to call for help, even just voice activated. And we practice. Security loves when I do that. I text them and say, this is a practice run, but that way they're interacting with the person who's actually going to come help them in case they do fall. But that's part of what we do. So, staying in your home. How do you plan before extra help is needed? How do I know? So there's three things when it comes down to the end and you're hanging on. How can we stay in my home as long as I want? And that's what I'm here for. I love that challenge. It's my passion. It takes food, sleep, and a toilet. We're going to go back to food. Food, it can come to you. You can use that little smart device and call the dining room and get what you want. You can call Uber Eats or something, family support, we have room delivery, meal delivery. That's kind of that's part of that plan. You're thinking of coming to this community with all those layers of services, which is wonderful. But let's think about Parkinson's. You don't want to go down to the dining room as much. So then there's that social piece. You don't want to go because that tremor is limiting you from actually getting successfully the food in your mouth successfully. So there are things that, one thing I do love about the age that we're living in and we're aging in is that the design has totally shifted from when I started doing this 20 years ago, 30 years ago now. This is a weighted utensil set. It's heavy and it looks just like a regular fork. And that's a lot of things. People just like, I don't want it to look institutional. I don't want it to make me look like I'm sick. I get that. I love those items. I do everything I can to find those items because I get that. These are weighted, and some people choose to carry them in a little bag, or some people put them, if they're having to use a device, they go in their walker. However, the dining room actually has some items. If you talk to them and they see you coming and they go ahead and put it on your plate, it comes out with you, need met, nobody knows anything differently. So it's just that communication and leaning on the people here that want to provide the service. And this is where I can come in again, and I'm intentionally can meet you right where you are every step of this aging process. We're going to adapt and modify as best we can. Again, remember, I have all those items that we can pull from in my little storage closets that I've taken over, and people donate items that have been so helpful, but we can use those on a temporary basis, and then we can custom things as you need. And by that, even like customizing furniture blocks to go under a recliner. So we need your recliner up, but you don't want the plastic. We keep the plastic in stock for if it needs to be an emergent thing. We come in and we need that recliner higher, that couch higher. We do that, but then we come back and we custom match the stain. David loves that challenge of matching stain. We get it to where you're happy. Because again, this is your home. Remember that word, whatever it was for you. I care what mine looks like. I love my cactus corner. I love my lighting and my rugs. But that's what we come in and do. That's what sets us apart. That's what you're getting also. And we do have other people around the community calling and asking me about the program. There's a friend who's a therapist. It's like, what are you doing at Givens? Like, what is this? What's going on here? But it's kind of what sets us apart as well, which is kind of fun. So I want you to realize and look, and I hope you realize anyway, that throughout this program that I'm very passionate about this. I take this seriously, and home safety is kind of my thing. I love a challenge, And people are, sometimes people say, Julie, how do I know when I need you? So I'll come up to you in the hall in the elevator. It's like, I don't know when I need you. When do I need you? And if you're asking that question, call me. I'll come over. I'm not harassing you to come to your house. You reach out to me. You got to reach out to me and let me know. But I work with two types of people, the proactive and the reactive. The proactive, we can come in. That's when we can really customize those things and make that stain match immediately and make that grab bar blend in. There's so many grab bar combos now, a toilet paper and a grab bar all in one. Those I really love, and there's styles that are continually coming out that we have to learn about. I enjoy learning about, because I also care what it looks like for you. This is your home. And then the reactive, the people who, there's a lady who just went on vacation and she fell over a curb, and now her arm is she's broken arm. She's waiting on surgery because of the holidays. It's awful. Had to really come in and accommodate her home. A bidet. The use of the bidet has really helped her. And that was a simple fix. She already had electric by her toilet, but some of the apartments are all unique, just like you guys. So sometimes we have to run electric, doesn't take that long. And we have painters that come in and patch and paint and fix it right back. Looks like normal, looks like the plug's always been there. It's part of what we do. And on the bidet, there's a study in Europe that, of course, it's more European than us. And it's getting more and more people are putting them in, which for sure. But there's a study that came out a few years ago. I've not seen one on men. I keep looking. But in women, the use of a bidet decreases urinary tract infection by 70%. That's huge. So some of you may know the detrimental things that can happen from a urinary tract infection. If not, I can tell you, ask around. It can be compromising to one. And the problem with the urinary tract infection, it's silent. It happens before you understand what's going on. So that's what we do. And again, like I said, we have certain things that we've learned that we like the best. One, we like to keep our plumbers happy that work here and our maintenance team. So which one works better with our plumbing, and also the one that's most user-friendly as we age. And that comes with a remote control. I've even cut paper and taped paper over certain buttons so they don't confuse people as they age or change, because you just need two of the buttons really. Some of them one, but two of the buttons, because it also dries you if you choose to have that one as well. Some people here at Givens have even chose to forego their regular toilet, put in the smart toilet, which is very nice. Lid open and closes for you, light comes on, all the things. And that's been their choice to do. And if you have things like this in your home already, talk to marketing. We can bring those things in. Don't say it's in your home now. We can get those things here for you. If you're using grab bars already, make sure they're put in the right place for you. That's part of what we do. So we are just now, we're going to switch over. So we'll talk about while you're waiting. Like Jesse was saying, if you live within a 45-minute drive time of Givens Estates on Sweden Creek, which is kind of our home office, where we're kind of centrally located, I can come in and help before and after, and or both, because we want to get you here. Like I said, we want you here as your best self and get you optimize that independence. So, and what's it going to look like here? I know what all these apartments look like, what's worked and what hasn't, what the height of things, the height of your bed, the height of your chair you're going to get out of. Are you having to buy new furniture? Are you bringing what you already have? That's where we can form a relationship, and we can talk through some of those things if you would like to do that. We're just now joining with marketing because this has been fast growing, this program throughout this year. We've all learned a lot. It's been really fun. And we're joining with marketing, and we're just in the beginning stages of this. So there's going to be an aging in place bundle that you can add on as you move in. We'll be telling you about that. And you can do it before you move in or throughout your stay here. That's what we do. But it's going to be things that lots of technology, lots of just accommodations of what it means to be safe in your home. That's really been fun to do. Like I talked about, I come in your home, and it's not just what Givens offers that I talk about. It's the community already offers so many wonderful things that I've learned about, resources. I speak on that during my home visit. We just, part of our Home First series with Givens Home First is we have a Learn First blog, and you can log into that and see what we've done, presentations. Last week, we just did 2 on advanced directives. It was a great program, a local lawyer and a local nurse that works with hospice that really talks about the importance of those paperwork and how important it is and who needs when and who needs to have copies and that kind of thing. I learned a lot. I'm going to send it to my mom for her we've done some of the things, but not all the things. So it's just ever learning. And that's one thing that this program is really showing people. So I want to thank you for your time. And if you have any thoughts or questions, I think we're going to speak on that for a minute. But even if, if you're not thinking about just you, but if there's friends or family that you think could benefit from this program, let us know. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Julie, thank you so much. It's always really enjoyable to see someone who's very passionate about what they do talk about it. And I think it really highlights to the commitment and services that Givens does have in place for residents. When you move into independent living, it's, about aging in place in that space, right? Having the opportunity to speak with Julie or Jesse just to continue on that. I think it's just a good thing to talk about. As future residents are working with my team, with Leslie, Carla at Highland Farms, these services are available to you. So I think it's great that you brought that up, because it is something that we don't always talk about until we're getting ready to move in. So if there's considerations you all have for modifications or things that you already have, we do partner with Julie to get that done for you as we're working through that moving process. And we know that's stressful. So the more resources we can have available to you, the easier I think that process can be, regardless of where you're moving. It's always stressful. I'm going to put you on the spot. Julie or Jesse, I do have a question for you. What are some misconceptions folks usually have when it comes to aging in place services, or really just overall with the Givens Home First service?
I spoke about rugs. People think I immediately come in and just take up your rugs. There was a gentleman on the elevator once that said, "Oh, you're the girl that comes in and takes up rugs." And no, or, "Oh, you're the girl that doesn't let me have a bath mat." No, that is really one that we have learned which one is safe. Because we've had, again, I will sometimes do research on something, and then I have a few people that will trial something for me because I want their feedback, and I know they'll give it. When I ask the question, they'll give it, good or bad. That's okay. That's what we need to know. But yeah, rugs, the grab bars are ugly. They don't have to be. There's so many styles and designs now that they're not. No, yeah, but I can't take a bath anymore. People, I miss my tub. A lot of these apartments have tubs, if not most of them do. Not all of them do, but most of them do. You have the option if you have a 2-bedroom, one's a bath and one's a shower a lot of times. So I can't take a bath anymore. You absolutely can. There's plenty of devices, and it's not just the standard tub transfer bench. There's actually a lift that will allow you to go down and out of the water. That is not that expensive. It's a battery charged and another remote control. But then it's quite successful. I think we probably have 7 on campus. So those kind of questions. Again, it's what are your comforts? What do you want to do? I will do my best to try to accommodate it.
So note to everyone, Julie is not gonna take your rug.
Yeah.
And you had pitched as well our partnership. So for those who are on this call, we are looking at ways to partner with Home First. So we are in the process of looking at home modifications before you move in, or just different ways to rethink some of the spaces we have on our campus. Earlier in early 2025, you'll probably see some more information on that. We're really excited to partner on a home on our campus that will be available to residents, and we'll probably do an open house or something once we get to that point. But it's really exciting because we're thinking creatively with it, and really showing what, you know, technology and aging in place can look like for our residents in our communities. I'm going to throw another question, if that's okay. You had touched on this earlier for emergency preparedness with Helene. For those who are in the Asheville area or in the Western North Carolina region, it was pretty hard to prepare for the event. But, you know, we prepared as best as we could within our communities. We were fortunate, but you all do some work outside in the communities as well. So are there certain things that you would say should be priorities for folks now?
It's a good question. I think it depends on the person. It depends on, what I think a lot of people have learned that themselves if they live here. But at our social work team, I teamed with the social work team as well here, who has a whole notebook on emergency preparedness. And we realized there were things that needed to be added that we had not thought about. But I would recommend having, I think I briefly touched on your paperwork. And I really now know that people need to have their pets, like your pet information, and our computer system went down, and you need to have a hard copy of all current medication. And when you go to that doctor and they change it, reprint another one and make sure your healthcare power of attorney has it, or your child has it, or your whomever has it. But we had to have hard copies that we didn't have. We were scrambling and trying to, and they did it. It was a job well done. Those nurses hit the floor running and they figured it out. The team of people got it done, but the computers are great. Technology is great as long as it works. So the pet information, though, like having where your pet goes to the vet, or if it's chipped, that kind of thing needed to be communicated as well.
Right. All great tips. It is important you kind of don't think about those things, especially in an age of technology, right? And so it's very great feedback. I'm going to open it up to the Q&A. So if you do have questions for Julie or Jesse, please use the Q&A feature at the top of your screen. I will be reading those off.
Sorry, and I've also beat you to it, Josue and Julie. We saw 2 questions in there. I've popped in an answer, but Julie, you might have some additional thoughts too. Anita, thank you for asking. Just to clarify as well, whether we work with folks out in the wider community that are not planning to come to Givens. And yes, absolutely. Throughout this year, Julie has been working with residents that are Givens Choice members, if you're familiar with that program. But we've just now launched to the wider community. So if you or maybe a friend or family member live locally, right now it's a rough drive time of 45 minutes from Givens Estate. She can come out. And the other question was from Bill. Thank you for asking. What are the charges? I always love asking these questions. You have to get right to it. And all Givens residents, so residents of Givens Estates, Givens Highland Farms, Givens Gerber Park, and Givens Great Laurels, all receive complimentary home safety assessments. And then if they choose to have David come in and actually install or implement those recommendations, that's all priced separately at an agreed upon rate. We're very transparent. We work with folks. It may be that we order or they order and pay for themselves and just pay for labor. So we're really wanting to be transparent, flexible, and it really varies. Right now, David is in progress. We're really excited for him to become a general contractor, but right now we're capped at $30,000 per project. So that's the max, and that really would look at complete bathroom remodel, looking at entryways and exits. But it really varies. Everyone is unique. And then community members, going back to Anita's question, so those that are not yet or will never join Givens, that live within that service area, that initial assessment is $200. And so that is that time with Julie, anywhere from 30 minutes to 3 hours. That includes her recommendations. And then from there, it could be a matter of you, going your own way. But we're really pleased to have the ability. We haven't found another organization or aging in place specialist that's able to then follow up with those installations. I hope that helps. It was a little bit of a ramble. Additions, Julie.
No, that's it. Like that's where there is another lady doing this in the area. Her name's Sheila O'Connor, and she's an OT as well.
Right.
And she's like that great that you have the partnership that we can actually recommend, because she will make a recommendation and people say, I don't have anyone to come who can come in and put in a grab bar. Yes, you can call, but again, where do you need it? They're going to put it at ADA standards, which isn't necessarily where you need it. Or if I have Parkinson's, I have rheumatoid arthritis, I have macular degeneration, we know that's our specialty, right? We've learned a lot, and that's where we come in and we intentionally develop it for you.
Let's see.
And I think we have another question from Carol. What is Givens Choice?
Yes. Oh, that's an exciting program, and Josue, I know you can speak to that too. That program was also launched in April of last year. Separate to Home First, although we work together. That is a continuing care at home program. I could speak about it for hours, but I would encourage you to look online at givenschoice.org. And that program is really for folks in North Carolina, primarily locally, that are not interested in moving into a facility such as a life plan community or an affordable community. They are already embedded in their community, whether it's somewhere in Hendersonville or Asheville or Woodfin. They want to stay there. And then that is a lifelong membership to help keep that person connected, safe. It's regulated by the Department of Insurance. It's not long-term care insurance. They really have the incentive to keep that person healthy, happy, safe at home. So I mentioned that, and I know it's confusing because we have all of these different organizations and programs that fall under that Givens Communities umbrella. Our 4 campuses being one, Givens Home First being a new program, and then Givens Choice is really out in that wider community. But Julie provides those home safety assessments and home modifications to those choice members. I hope that was helpful, Carol.
Yeah, and another way to look at that is Givens Home First, Home First, home care, right? Or those home-based services that we currently offer. Mm-hmm. Those are experts like Julie and Jesse coming to your home and providing some sort of service within our communities like Givens Estates, Givens Highland Farms. Choice is not necessarily providing direct care or some sort of that. It's continuing care at home. So CCRC Beyond Walls. I think I saw somebody with their hand raised, but I'm not seeing that anymore.
I'm going to pop Julie mentioned our website. We have a Learn First blog. We try to keep it updated with seminars that we attend. We'll be posting the video to the Advanced Directives seminar soon, but I'm also going to link a blog post that differentiates between Givens Home First and Givens Choice. So I'll pop that into Carol's comment. Hopefully that helps as well.
All right. Well, thank you both for joining us today. If you'd like to learn more about Givens Home First, do visit givenshomefirst.org, or feel free to email us and we'll be happy to connect you with Jesse and Julie. Just a reminder that a recording will go out, and we look forward to any feedback you have. So please feel free to send us an email with thoughts and things you'd like to learn more about. So I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
All right.